Brian back here. I just did a 20-minute Kaspa video, and wouldn't you know it, I didn't hit record. Unbelievable. All right. Anyway, been one of them days, huh? All right. So we seen Bitcoin take a plunge here today. The open interest was that's what a lot of people are blaming it on here. 680 million in liquidations, up 258%. 24-hour volume, 224 billion. All right, you've seen a lot of buyers coming in after Bitcoin plunged there and started back up. A ton of volume coming in. Okay, and you can see there's still a lot of interest out there. Okay, open interest. All right, there's still $37 billion of open interest out there. Now there's a lot of people out there wondering what caused this, and you're just going to have it. You can't see it in the charts. It's not just going to come out and say, "Oh, hey, I'm going to drop $5,000 in the morning." We had a legitimate breakout on our chart, on our Kaspa chart. Bitcoin, everything was breaking, and the market just sometimes does that. You get a flush, you get a reset, and unfortunately, it's very painful at the time. But you got to move on. It is what it is. It screws my charts all up. There were so many coins breaking resistance and breaking out, but whatever. That's, you got to keep your chin up and move on. Crypto can be difficult at times, that's for sure. Nobody said this was going to be easy, and we just keep moving on, guys. All right, but it says here, what caused Bitcoin's 10% crash? Was it matrix port, Jim Cramer, or leverage? I a member yesterday was texting me, and he said, "Oh boy, Jim Cramer just flipped on Bitcoin, went bullish on it, time to sell, and look what happens." Boy, I guess you were right, Detroit. Absolutely crazy. Bitcoin cratered almost 10% below 41,000 early Wednesday, around the time of the Matrix Port report about potential spot Bitcoin ETF rejections, but it was more likely due to a leverage flush as the market overheated, an analyst said in an interview. Bitcoin dropped almost 10% early Wednesday, around the time when Matrix Port published a report forecasting the SEC would reject all spot Bitcoin ETF applications this month. And let me show you something, because it was early. I was up at 4 o'clock on MEXC. I had a couple long positions I was keeping an eye on, and check this out. All right, this is on the hourly. Bitcoin was wedging up here. All right, I was watching it, and look at this right here. 6 a.m. it started. Boom. 7 a.m. By 7 a.m. it was down. It was down at the bottom by 7 a.m. Okay, 2 hours. It just plummeted. All right, so that's how fast it happened this morning. The pullback was more likely due to a typical leverage flush as the market became overheated than any individual's views, a research analyst said in an interview. Bitcoin's swift Wednesday decline reminded investors of the asset's downside volatility, with observers quickly pointing to a research report predicting rejections for a highly anticipated Bitcoin exchange traded funds in the U.S. And even CNBC host Jim Cramer's comments as potential triggers. However, overzealous bullish bets on a continued rally primed the market for a pullback, an analyst told CoinDesk. Bitcoin dropped to a low of 40,800 from around $45,000 within hours during early Wednesday. CoinDesk data shows roughly around the time when Singapore-based digital asset firm Matrix Port published a report penned by Marcus Thielen forecasting the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to reject all spot Bitcoin ETFs applications, overturning its Tuesday outlook, projecting an imminent approval in a Bitcoin rally to 50,000. All right, so obviously they got offended because they came out and said on Twitter, "It's unrealistic to believe that a Matrix report could trigger a $1 trillion sized market to crash," Wu posted on X Wednesday late afternoon. All right, he's the founder of Matrix Port. He said here the crash pointed out weakness in crypto-related stocks over the past few days, potentially foreshadowing faltering momentum for digital assets. But the day before, he said Bitcoin was going to 50,000. All right, so we also anticipated an unexpected drop in crypto stocks for consecutive trading days, while Bitcoin's price remained stable, Wu added. These events, predating Marcus Thielen's report, appeared to have less impact and got less attention. Analysts refuted Matrix Port's contrarian argument, saying there was no evidence that the regulator would reject the application and giving higher odds for an eventual approval. Consequently, Bitcoin's price recovered from Wednesday's lows to around 42,900. That's about where it's at now. By afternoon, UTC time, but we're still trading 5% lower over the last 24 hours. All right, so roughly, it's you can look at it. I think it was leverage. That's nearly 560 million of leveraged long derivatives trading positions. Bets on higher prices with borrowed money has been wiped out through Wednesday until press time, the highest amount in at least 3 months. It's a typical long liquidation flush. We go over here to right here to CoinGlass, 24-hour liquidations, $681 million. Open interest, $37 billion. 24-hour volume, $224 billion. Volume is way up. And you can see the interest still out there. This is CME 5.4 billion, Binance 3.97 billion. This is for Bitcoin. This is for Ethereum. Cardano, BNB. You can go through all of them on here. XRP, Dogecoin. There's still a lot of interest out there. Open interest is still at 37 billion. All right, still a lot out there. All right, and let's look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. See what it says here. Geez, still at a 70. That's kind of crazy. Still in the greed. But, wow. It is what it is, right? Crypto bubbles. Ever since we hit that last hour here, well, Beam got a nice bounce up to 8.1 for the day. Some stuff kind of took a pretty decent beating out there, though. So... but that last hour, a lot of volume was coming in here. All right, this is Bitcoin on the hourly. You can see after that drop, you can see some buy volume coming in once it hit the bottom. There's 2,500, 2,000, 1,500. I don't know, about 10,000 Bitcoin down there. More green than red after the bottom hit, so that's good to see. First sign of a bounce here is obviously going to be getting back above 43,000. Right, 43,000 bucks is that first resistance level here. Definitely want to see that taken out. But Bitcoin is right back in this wedge. Okay, so that's one good thing. It wick down below it right there. You can see the wick out of it. I want to see it hold that 42,000. That'll keep it inside the wedge. Don't want to see it lose that, right? I want to see it hold 42,000 bucks, and we'll see what happens here. Now let's go over to Kaspa. Also, the Dow Jones was down $288 today, which that didn't help things. All right, this thing has just been on a tear, but it's pulled down some, and even the DXY. Look at the bounce this thing's getting. Ever since we put this chart on here, it wicked down past that 786. Now it's starting to bounce back up here. It's back up to the 618. So that DXY getting a bounce. The daily's only halfway up. The weekly's just starting up, and the monthly is at the bottom also. So the DXY, the dollar index, could have a pretty big run coming up here. The bigger RSIs are way oversold, so we'll see what happens with that. Okay, now let's go down here and take a look here at Kaspa. Alright, kind of frustrating. I went through that video, man. I felt like it was a really good video that I did too. And there's nothing we can do here, guys. It is what it is. We had that breakout right here. I expected this pullback right to there, and then this to take off, and it just That it could have been worse. All right, it definitely could have been worse. We're down 8.75%. It could have been a lot worse. All right, so it looks like what ended up happening here ended up playing out. If I measure this out, all right, this came right up to there. This wick right here. Let's zoom in here so you can see it. Open this chart up a little bit. Okay, this wick right here I'm looking at. If we pull this top down on top of there, all right, was this just an ABC? You know, right there would have been the bottom for it. Real close. It's exactly what it looks like. And if this was an ABC, then that would mark a bottom in here. Okay, got your A, your B, C. That's exactly what it looks like. Okay, now we had this previous resistance line right on here, okay, and it is very valid still. Okay, we ended up having this line was on here the other day, right down through here. We ended up getting that breakout. We expected back that retest, and we expected to bounce out of here. Well, it ended up coming back down through. Now it's trying to break out again. Okay, so this line is very, very valid. Okay, this blue line, this blue resistance line here, right? I believe this 10 cents, I believe that's going to hold. I think we bottomed out here. All right, the first sign of any upward momentum would be the break of 11 cents. All right, that would get us back up in this range. The 4-hour RSI is reset, and at the bottom, way oversold. It's at 39 down there. All right, the 8-hour almost reset. 12-hour is bearish, and 12-hour still pulling down. The daily, boy, that daily is just so close here. You know, it's 63 and a 70. It's going to go one of either two ways. It's going to flip back up here, or it's going to roll over hard. But I just don't see us losing that 10 cents. I don't see it happening. I think it's going to hold it. That's a very, very good support area. All right, then we have our weekly almost bullish, a 15 and a 20 right at the very bottom. All right, so it's not going to be long, guys. I'm sorry things worked out the way they did. I mean, we had a legitimate breakout of a wedge, okay? Legitimate breakout. Perfect pullback right to the 702. We measured this out, you know, right here. Look at that. Right down a 618, right down to the 618. Started to bounce out of here, and then Bitcoin tanked. So nothing we can do about it. Got to move on. It is what it is, and we'll be fine. All right, so keep an eye on this thing. Right now, it's trying to break that resistance here at, what is that, 10.7? That would give it a breakout of this resistance line right here. And then watch for it to break 11 cents. 11 cents, and we should be on our way back up here, okay? I think that was an ABC, and if it was, that should mark a bottom, okay? Don't expect it to lose that 10 cents. Please hit the like and subscribe, guys. Consider becoming a member. We got 63 members now. Thank you so much, everybody. And there's so many of you guys doing so great with your charts. Good for you. You know, good for you. I just show you the tools to use. It's up to you guys to use them. And some of you guys are really killing it. Congratulations. And I really mean that. You know, I talk to you guys quite a bit. And especially with the Discord setup now, that's awesome. That's for members. So consider becoming a member, guys. We could use you over here. That definitely helps the channel out a lot. $14.99, you get 8 hours worth of the videos to learn how to do this trading, do all these charts, how to leverage trade, everything, how to use CoinMarketCap, how to look for the next 1000X tokens, 8 hours worth of videos. I'm going to get another new one out tomorrow for the members, all right, guys, thanks a lot. Please hit the like and subscribe, and we'll get over it. Just a bad day. Thanks a lot, everybody.